Hello there YouTube, my name is Chuggy, and today I'm playing some Battlefield 3. Actually, you'll be seeing two games of Conquest today. Firstly here at Operation Metro and then at Grand Bazaar, two back-to-back games which I thought were pretty neat. And moreover, it's a 20-minute, well, it will give me enough time basically to answer your wonderful questions. Today, this is question time part 5. Guys, seriously, you've submitted some absolutely incredible questions, hence why I need two gameplays to get through them all. On top of just answering your questions though, I'll hopefully be talking about a few other bits and bobs, updates being one, and also what you'll be seeing in the near future. So first of all, again guys, thank you so much for your literally fabulous questions. Lots to get through here. I hope to get through all of them. So if you have any burning questions, be it Battlefield, gaming related, who knows, by all means leave them down in the comments below, and well, question time part 6 in a couple of weeks time, whenever it will be. I'll hopefully get through all the questions there and answer them. And literally, it could be anything, games, life, whatever, and as you'll be hearing today, it's not all just about games. So that's thing number one. Secondly, thank you for all your fabulous feedback about games and whatnot you'd like to see from me. To quickly get it out the way, this Friday you'll be seeing a little bit of live commentary from Skyrim, and yes, it is, Skyrim has been done to death on YouTube, I know, but the Elder Scrolls series is one I'm a big fan of, and been playing it since Morrowind, and well, hopefully we'll get some good fun or something out of that as well. Anyway, that's enough of that for now. Let me get on with some of your fabulous questions. So question 1 this week comes from the Reese Mac, and they ask, how old are you, what nationality are you, and what do you do for a living, and well, what do you aspire to be doing? First of all, great question. So I'm 21, I'm from the United Kingdom, although my nationality, strictly speaking, is half British, half Canadian. And at the minute I'm a university student, so I don't know if you class that as a student or being unemployed. However, my aspiration essentially is to go into software development. I don't know, there's something very pleasing to me about solving problems, and basically that is essentially what software development is all about. Now, if you'd asked me this question, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, you would have heard me go on hysterically about how I wanted to be a game programmer or whatnot. Yeah, that very quickly changed, having done a few little projects where I've been making games. And in fact, and actually this is a good thing to bring up now actually, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually making a game now as part of my final year project, and I'm doing a little video series to accompany it, and a few of you have asked, well, when's the next episode? It'll be out soon. What I hopefully plan to show you is something running and something looking pretty neat, pretty swish. I've got something running, it's not quite at the swish level yet, but anyway, games take an awful lot of effort, and to be honest, in terms of the reward you get, it's not as much as solving, you know, an everyday problem like, I don't know, a new way to use the internet, I don't know, just making things off the top of my head here, or, you know, creating things out of nowhere, but still. Just problem solving I really like, so software engineering, that's where I want to go, write some programs, hopefully useful programs, and we'll go from there. And luckily for me, I've already secured myself a job on the other side of university with, well, how do I put this, one of the big 3 computer companies. I won't say which, but they do like their TLAs, I'll say that much. So thank you very much, Reese Mac, for the question. I hope that answered all of that. Next question comes from Jack Naven, and they ask, do you think it's worthwhile having a suppressor or silencer on a gun despite the loss of damage? Well, to be honest, it's a good question, and it's one which basically you have to ask yourself 2 questions to really get the answer. First of all, your playstyle, how you like to play the game. Do you, for example, like to, I don't know, lone wolf a bit, you know, pick people off away from the main bulk of the fighting, in which case a silencer is almost essential, but also what type of weapons you like to use. Now, for example, in this game I'm using an 870 MCS shotgun, and I'm purposefully using this, not only because, you know, Metro, close quarters, it makes sense, but I'm actually using the fact that the shotgun isn't silent to my advantage. I'm actually using it to try and bait people. Now, they'll see the little red mark come up on the minimap, but that doesn't necessarily indicate, you know, what that, for example, enemy has as a weapon. So hopefully, well, I was hoping to perhaps, I don't know, draw a few people off guard, and who knows, get a cheeky kill or 2. And that's what you tried to see me do when I tried to get quite close to their spawn. Unfortunately, they weren't coming out. So really, it does depend on, you know, the weapons you like to use. Personally, I always roll with a silencer on my engineer kits. Being sneaky around vehicles and such, that helps you take them out. So it really does depend where you find yourself, the weapons you like to use, and the situations you find yourself in. And in general, I think the silencer not appearing on the minimap and such, it is definitely worth the damage drop-off. One thing to be aware of though is that you actually don't lose damage at close range. It's only at like the longer ranges, if you will, that you actually have the penalty. So if within 50 meters, you're not going to feel the difference. More than that, yeah, you will do. But as I'll hopefully get to in a little bit, that will be changing shortly. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, thank you for the great question. To answer it in a phrase, TLDR. Yes, depends on the situation. And I think I'll just leave it at that. So thank you very much for the question. Now, next question this week comes from Mr. Mustache 14, and their question is: in any future Battlefield expansion packs, what would you like to see? Maps, weapons, that kind of thing. Well, to be honest, I wouldn't call myself an old boy, but I've played quite a lot of Battlefield, and I have a lot of fond memories of the older maps, so I want to see some of the old maps come back. But I think for now, what needs to happen is some fresh new maps. Maps where we haven't seen the lay of the land, excuse the pun. Do something a little bit fresh, a little bit new, a little bit interesting. And well, the current rumour is an all-American map pack. I.e. maps set in New York, Miami, San Francisco, those kind of places. I think that'd be a great step. First of all, somewhere a bit different for Battlefield to go, but also new maps. And I think that's exactly what we're after. As for weapons, well, being America, why not have some modern American hardware? ACRs, interventions. There's plenty of weapons you could pull from there. And in fact, why not in that regard? Since the main antagonist or the opposing force, let's say the op 4 in this is the Russians. Some classic Russian weaponry. AK-74s. Those kind of weapons and deals. I think that would work quite nicely. Certainly, I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. Of course, I want to see some of the old stuff come back, but let's have a bit of a break, I think. I'd welcome that, and certainly the All-American map pack, it's the current popular rumour, and I would be, very happy to see it, personally, as a Battlefield player. And, that's what I make of that. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Mustache14, for the excellent question, and also you have an amazing name. oh dear. Off topic, on tangent, wonderful. Now, next question comes from Ragnar009, and their question is about aircraft and aircraft loadout. And essentially what they're saying is, what's better in an aircraft? Be it, guided rockets or the rocket pods, the stealth or a sensor. Much like the silencer question, really, it depends how you find yourself fighting your battles. If you, for example, when you fly a jet, you like to be air-to-ground only, a guided missile is a brilliant tool. You lock on to the target using your little range finder, whatever, and you just fire the missile. Forget about it. Wonderful. It goes off, it does its thing, hopefully disables, perhaps even destroys the target. Lovely. But, bear in mind that when you do that, obviously, you become less effective in the air. So personally, I roll around with the guided rockets, because you can kind of do a bit of both. It's kind of a compromise either way, but still it gives you the option, which I like having the option, I guess. So, it depends. It's up to you. But certainly, a general piece of advice, say you find yourself in the situation where, a load of tanks are destroying you, and you see that there's, for example, no aircraft up. By all means, spec on those guided missiles and start slowing those enemy tanks down. That will help your team enormously. It's just reading the battlefield, seeing what's going on around you, and capitalising for your own good, really. You'll gain loads of points, you'll gain loads of experience, and help your team out, so, triple win. So really, that's what I'd say. Time and place, and what you feel like doing. So yeah, that's that. And stealth, air radar, much the same. In fact, really, I use two setups. Basically, for example, the helicopters, I say stealth is a must. You're lower to the ground in the helicopter, or it should be. Makes you vulnerable to stingers and igloos. So stealth, it helps you from being targeted so much. But the jets, you should be high enough away that the stingers don't bother you so much. You can get away with the air radar. Again, personal preference, what works for you. That's really the only thing that you need to bear in mind. So that's my take on it. Ragnar, I hope that helps you, and thank you for the awesome question. Now, iKirky1404 is the next question, and they ask, what recording software do you use to capture your gameplay? Well, I do my day-to-day work and whatnot on Mac OS X, or well, I should say OS X now, since Apple have announced the next version, Mountain Lion. Mac has disappeared, so it's just OS X, or OS X if you want to get really picky. I run on OS X, and I have used two applications. So for those of you who are wondering, I use a Hopog HD PVR to capture, and essentially when you buy the actual unit yourself, you get a CD and it has Windows software on it. And from what I can understand, that is the way to go if you want to record and capture on Windows. OS X, nothing was provided. However, there are two applications which are fairly widely used. Now, the first one is called HD PVR Capture, written by one of the engineers over at Hopog, and it's a great app. I used to use it an awful lot. However, when I upgraded my desktop, the main machine which I record to Lion, for whatever reason, the app broke, and I don't know, it's more than likely something wrong with my machine, so I haven't been able to use it. So as of late, I've been using ITV3 by Elgato, and what that is really it's meant for televisions, as in you buy this Elgato sort of USB stick, you plug it into your aerial in the roof, and you get TV on it. It can also, when you plug your Hopog in, it will detect that as a TV or a video source, so I can just record directly from there, and that's what I've been doing. Works really nicely, and the quality outputs for my video editor, which is Final Cut Pro X, superb, absolutely fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. So if you're on OS X and you want to get into this video editing lark, can't recommend ITV. Hopog HD PVR capture, it's all good, all good. Just find what works for you. To be honest, it's all good stuff and all do the job brilliantly. So that's what I use, and I hope that answers your question. Now, next question comes from Tu Wu Wei. Thank you for correcting the pronunciation last video. And their question is, what sort of tips do I have for improving your accuracy when you're using firearms in game? Well, there's a lot you could talk about, to be honest. However, I will share one real key tip which not really that many people know about. And that is aiming for the crotch. And at first you might go, what? What do you want about, you crazy fool? Well, it's a neat little tactic which special forces and just in general armed forces all over the world use. Basically, of course, when you fire a weapon, you get some recoil. And normally that's up and normally to, the right or left, depending per weapon. Basically, if you aim around the crotch area, the recoil will take the weapon up and direction a bit. Think about it. If you're aiming at the crotch, taking it up will take you to the torso. Firing it again will move it further up the torso. Firing it again, well, look, you're at the head. So basically, you, for example, pardon me. For example, say you're using an assault rifle in Battlefield. At the moment, 25 damage a round. One to the groin, one to the torso, another one to the torso, one to the head, dead. Nice and easy. Of course, you kind of have to vary that up a bit per weapon. So, for example, snipers, you should probably aim for the torso and head, just as a rule of thumb. But essentially, it's a great tip. Aim for the crotch area. Don't. It's one of those things that basically, once you hear it, it's kind of it's rude. It makes the small mind in all of us go crotch. But it will stick with you, and just use it. It gets surprisingly good results. Accuracy will improve. You'll get more kills, all that kind of thing. Very effective little tip and quite easy to remember. So I hope that that's one thing. There's plenty of others out there, but certainly for now that's one thing which is very valuable, which not a lot of people do. Now, briefly before the next question, the previous gameplay, pretty sweet in Operation Metro. One is the Americans, which is nice, but one thing I'm not sure if you noticed is that I was going through a lot of weapons, and I found myself in situations where I didn't have, I had a shotgun, I needed to be shooting people at range. That doesn't really work. So I started picking up kits off the ground, and basically I was getting weapons which I wouldn't normally really use. And I actually found it to be a really good, fun experience, and the score wasn't too bad as a result either. So it gave me an idea for something to do as a little bit of variety, and basically I'm going to be, launching a little series. And the great thing is this can go across Battlefield, whatever else I play, and basically I'm going to dub it Challenge Chuggy. So for now, what I'd like you guys to do is put down in the comments, a setup, say for a class, weapon attachments, gadgets, whatnot, and basically challenge me to play that kit, and I don't know, get a good score, MVP, a good game, I'm not sure, and to see if you can challenge me a bit. Certainly, that last game I found very enjoyable. So yeah, challenge Chuggy, and I don't know, let's say the most liked comment or liked setup I pick. How's that sound? I think that'd be a neat little piece of fun. By all means, guys, you know, give me what's dubbed the Swedish sniper rifle, which is an 870 MCS with a 12 times sight, or 6 times. Challenge me, by all means. And hopefully we'll have a bit of fun. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's that. That's something to bear in mind. And if you have any particular setup, be it your day-to-day setup or you know, just something daft, by all means, you know, just leave it down below and we'll see what happens. Let's get a bit of I don't know, community interaction going. Let's see. Anyway, I'll stop rambling about that. Now, next question this week comes from Fallout Man 112, and this is a question which made me really have to think. It was actually a really damn difficult question, and his question, essentially paraphrased, boils down to this: if you could come up with a new game mode for a first-person shooter, what would it be? Now, the difficult thing with game modes, especially in FPS, is essentially they're all roughly the same. You know, you're given, just as, you know, a result, it's a shooting game, you're given a weapon of sorts, and of course people go, I better go shoot people then. And the result is, well, you get the obvious, you know, game types, team deathmatch, kill people, etc. But, like, the more derived ones, like objective game types, are fairly done to death. However, there is one thing which I haven't really seen done before, which I think would be quite interesting. So let me just try and explain it. Anyway, how many game types have you seen out there where, as, for example, say a team, you have to patrol an area? Not just defend an object, patrol an area. Now, what I was thinking was in terms of, obviously, real troops, be it defending a base or something like that. You know, they tend to patrol the area, get a feel for what's going on, keep it safe, etc. I was basically thinking a game mode based on that. So, let's say teams of 12, the map, let's say it's like a fog of war style, so basically the map is updated per what each person can see, and the enemy team just has to, I don't know, try and take control or eliminate the enemy forces, something like that, something a little bit novel, new, something which you haven't really seen before. I have a feeling it'll be a case of one of those things which it sounds great in theory but doesn't really work in real life, in practice, but still, you know, I think it'd be a pretty neat thing to see. Perhaps, you know, make it a little bit search and destroy, you know, one life, really put the emphasis on, I don't know, yeah, just in general, something a little bit different, something I haven't certainly seen before, and, you know, it's not just a straight defend objective, you've only got one life, search and destroy style, yeah, something a little bit different. That's the best I've come up with, and certainly, you know, it's difficult to think of new game modes because, you know, they're all much of a muchness. So really, Fallout Man, I hope that kind of answers your question. It's a really tricky one, and guys, if you've got any ideas, by all means, you know, leave them down in the comments. I'll be interested to see what you could come up with. Because certainly, you know, it's one I've probably spent about, I don't know, an hour and a half, something like that, having a good think about. Just, you know, couldn't think of anything off the top of the head. Really good question, and certainly, you know, one to think about. And actually this is quite nice. Next question comes from Meldoa07. Again, another question where I really had to think. And his question, or her question, was, what is the most achieving or rewarding thing you have ever done in your life? Well, really good question, and well, fortunately I can say that I've done a lot of pretty neat stuff in my life, and if I guess I'm being completely practical, I'd have to say the best thing that I've done, or most rewarding, the best thing I've done with my life is by far getting to university. Not an easy thing to do, certainly, you know, you need to get, well, certainly in the UK, you need to firstly pass GCSEs, you know, 11, 12 of them, then you get to sixth form or college, and you have to, you know, get 4 or so A-levels, then you finally turn up here. You know, that's 8 or so years worth of work. Then you've got, obviously, you know, university exams and whatnot. So I'm still going, I'm in the 3rd year, I think that's a good result. Obviously, graduation is the real objective here, and with any luck, I'll be graduating this year. So yeah, if I'm being completely practical, it would have to be getting to uni. If I was being a little bit silly, well, I have done one really other pretty amazing thing which not many other people have done, which is actually flown an aircraft in real life. I've flown a plane. Not, you know, a 747 jumbo jet or anything kooky like that. No, it's the Grob 115B. It's known as the Tutor. For those of you who don't know, basically I was in an organisation called the Air Cadets. Kind of, well, it's not like a youth club. It's not that at all, really. But kind of a youth organisation of the RAF, the Air Force here in the UK. And basically they give you the opportunity to shoot, fly, and well, I flew a plane. I only did it once, but my word, what an experience. Much like driving a car, actually, is how I describe it. You know, once you're going, it's fine. The actual starting and stopping, whole different matter. Lots of controls, lots of things to think about. But yeah, an amazing experience, and, you know, seeing the ground 1,000 feet up, upside down, doing like some aerobatics or something. Amazing. That's something which will stay for me for a very long time. So yeah, I think, you know, if I was being a little bit silly, that's probably it. But probably university. So yeah, great question. Again, one which made me, you know, think, what have I done in my life, all that kind of jazz. And, you know, just a really thought-provoking one, so thank you for that, and, well, I hope that's answered it. And literally, guys, any daft stuff like that, by all means, you know, ask me, you know, what's the state of the economy in your eyes, whatever. I've got opinions on most things. You know, make me have, well, no, make me have a hard time thinking of an answer. No, I think that's the wrong way to go about it, but still, challenge me, by all means. I would be really interested to see what you guys could come up with. Anyway, thank you for the question, Meldoa. I'm coming on to my last question, and hopefully I'll have enough time to talk about updates, we'll see. Anyway, this question comes from AR Stone, and they ask, like, off the start of a game, or when you're taking objective in Conquest, is it useful to have more than one person taking the base? Well, that is, again, a time and place question. So, off the start of the game, no. Absolutely not, because, okay, if you've got 5 or 6 people taking a flag, yes, you will take it quicker than just the one. But for example, off the start of a game, for example, you know, on a map, particularly this setup at Grand Bazaar, you've got A and C, home bases for the 2 respective teams, then the flag in the middle. And normally the game is dictated by whoever has the flag in the middle. To be brutally honest, it's very unlikely the enemy would be able to get to your home flag before you could. And, you know, as long as you're a little bit sensible with it as a team, you know, you realise where, you know, if their hostiles are coming, you have a bit of a pause and a think about that. You can certainly just leave one guy to take the home base and the rest of you push on. That's what I tend to do. And in fact, you know, in this game, that's what happened. I went straight for B. I left the others to deal with this base because I knew B was the important one. Same with Metro. Same with most of the maps, to be fair, in Battlefield. You know, flag control is important in Conquest. It's all about those tickets, saving those tickets, making the enemy lose tickets, and certainly, you know, it can be very useful to have more than one person taking a flag, say. But yeah, in general, off the start of the game, it's not really worth having the whole team taking the home base. It's more of a waste than anything. Of course, you know, say a situation halfway through the game, very close, the middle flag, say, is being contested, actually like this situation, by all means send a couple guys in to try and secure it. Luckily, I managed to deal with the situation here, and I kid you not, I wouldn't be able to repeat this little bit, even if I wanted to. But still, yeah, you know, more the merrier, certainly. You know, the whole point in Conquest is it's all about control. If there's you being a friendly and an enemy being an enemy in the Conquest capture radius, it freezes. You need more people to be involved, or you need to kill the enemy, etc. So time and place. Off the start of the games, yeah, you may as well go for the middle flag, leave someone to get the home base. And trust me, that middle flag is very, very valuable, especially in close games. Like Metro, like Bazaar, it's, well, like I said, the dictator for what happens next. Anyway, AR Stone, thank you very much for the question. Amazing questions this week, guys, as always. And again, you know, if you have anything in particular you want me to talk about or answer, please do stick it down in the comments below. Everything will be considered, and I do mean that. Anyway, now, let's talk updates. Now, if you remember, a few weeks ago I uploaded a video talking about updates and how the All-American Map Pack, something would be announced. Unfortunately, none of that happened. However, I do have something today, which is confirmed by some of the chaps over at DICE. Now, the rumour mill is starting to whir up again. There have been actual changes released to the community about what the next big patch of Battlefield will contain. Excuse me again. And essentially, there are an awful lot. There's an awful lot of weapon rebalancing going on, and to be honest, looking at the time, do not have enough time to talk about everything. I'll highlight a few key things. So, for example, first of all the sniper rifles, bar the M95B, will be going up to 80 damage a shot, which is nice at point blank. Minimum damage, I think, is 59. There'll be a couple hit multiplier changes for the sniper rifle, so you can play aggressive recon again, which will be nice. Well, I'm trying to play aggressive here, but not really. You know, lots of other little tweaks. For example, all the attachments will be getting changed per weapon. So, you know, expect your favourite combo of heavy barrel and foregrip to perhaps have a few consequences now. And, you know, lots of little bug fixes and things like that. For example, MAV jumping on, getting up to high spots. I count that kind of as a glitch. And certainly I've been in games, for example, Tehran Highway, where an entire enemy team have done that, and I kind of go, you're not playing the objective, guys, whatsoever. What's the point of you being there? Anyway. that are being removed. All in all, a lot of little changes. Another thing which I heard, I'm not sure if this is true or not, again, you know, speculation, is that the Havoc will be getting a little bit of a tweak, so hopefully it'll be more like the Super Cobra or the Viper. Good lord, I hope that's true, 'cause my word, the fly in the bathtub, it's almost a foregone conclusion. Anyway, guys, I'll leave links to not only articles, but stats down in the description below. Have a look for those. Anyway, guys, wrapping up this video, as always, thank you for the amazing questions, support, thank you for watching. If you could leave a like, dislike, whatever you believe the video deserves, that'd be fantastic. If you have any burning questions, comments, or suggestions for Challenge Chuggy, please do leave them down in the comments, and you know, guys, rate each other's suggestions. Let's see if you can get me to go through some real wonderful, weird, wonderful setups. Who knows what will happen. And yeah, thank you again just so very much for watching. Hit 100k views, which is amazing. 1,300 subs. Ridiculous. I still can't believe it, guys. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time out in Skyrim.